Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show.
You want free beer? Go to the brewery.
Dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Yeah, what's wrong with the beer we got?
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams.
And welcome to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We are radio for the local craft beer movement, broadcasting from Atlanta at AM 920 The Answer. And I'm Aaron Williams.
And I am Brian Hewitt.
You're not Tim Dennis.
I am not Tim Dennis.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't even play him on the radio.
I hope not.
He's on assignment, apparently.
On assignment
this week,
at his house, yes, doing, I don't know what he's doing, but...
While he's gone, we are talking beer cocktails.
Yes.
Yes. And with us is a guy who knows a lot about beer and cocktails. Second Self Brewing owner, Jason Santamaria. He joins us in studio today.
Yep.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you, gentlemen, for having me.
Excellent, excellent. Looking forward to the bevy of beverages that you have out here. So I'm really excited to kind of talk Second Self and see what kind of concoctions we can get out of it, too. So that'll be pretty cool. And also coming up later on the show, Skye Estroff stopped by earlier this week from Taste of Atlanta. We're going to talk a little bit more about that celebration going on here in just a few minutes. But first, Tim is out, and, it's always sad because I always like to kind of live vicariously through Tim because he goes to all the awesome events, but you're no slouch yourself, Brian.
I try to keep
you
up.
You do keep up, definitely.
I do my best, yeah.
So what was your week like? How did you spend it drinking?
So I went through a bunch of my beers that I've collected over, there was a bunch of stuff, but I picked up this and that, and I decided I need to go through and drink some of these beers. So the Eventide Redheaded Haley, which we really loved when they were on pouring that. It's such a great beer. I had the Wild Heaven Callisto, which is such a great beer.
Yep.
The Arches Queen's Vice, and I did make a stop with Tim over at Variant and tried a number of their beers there, and I was quite happy with those. So I got around a little bit.
You did get around. We'll have a full report of the Variant beers here coming up a little bit later in the show. So for me, I'm pretty quiet usually, but I was able to go check out Good Word Brew Pub there in Duluth. Of course, the guys behind, or former guys at the Brick Store, Ryan Skinner and Todd DiMatteo, starting to work on that, and our friends at CRL Contracting working hard to get that taken care of too. Looks like it's a beautiful space. It's funny because they're still probably about another 3-4 weeks away from opening up there, and it's all the hard stuff is getting done. So it's all the interior stuff, the plumbing and the electrical and all the studs and the tile work and all that kind of stuff. So nothing pretty is up yet, but I know there's a ton of work that's going on, and so they're in the final stretch. Hopefully in the next week or so, go back and check it out before they open up. But
I'm really looking forward to checking that place out.
Yeah, I talked to Todd, and he's got some really good plans about some of the beers that he's got brewing, and should be a lot of fun there. Also, I got a chance to talk to Wild Heaven. One of the sales managers from Wild Heaven stopped by too, and she brought Good Vice. Wild Heaven's Good Vice Double IPA. Just started to come back out now. So if you like it, the second batch is out. They've got brand new cans for that are all wrapped, not labeled. And then they also had a brand new Altair, which is their IPA series. So they did Callisto, and Altair is the next one that they've got coming out too. So the Wild Heaven is really starting to crank out some of those IPAs. So it's good stuff.
I loved Good Vice, and the Callisto's great.
So good for them. So awesome. Well, let's check out Truck and Tap's beers of the week.
Crack open a cold one. It's the Truck and Tap Beer of the Week. Woo-hoo! Craft beer and food trucks in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com.
We have a bevy of beers with us, don't we, Brian?
Oh, yeah. That's a ton on the table here. A ton. We need Tim.
But that's okay. We'll handle ourselves. We can manage, Jason. That's right. So, Jason, you brought some of Second Self's finest. Tell me what you guys brought today.
Yeah, I brought a lot, and mostly because we're talking about cocktails. So these are things that I've experimented with cocktails. I mean, but they're also amazing on their own. I brought a sample of the Pride cans. This is the ATAle in honor of Pride Month. So these are a lot more colorful and rainbow themed compared to the usual cans. And then we have our Thai wheat, Maverick and Goza, and Mole Porter, and then the Citrus IPA.
Nice.
And I also brought the Saison Champenoise.
Excellent.
First cork and cage beer. This was a 10-month passion project of ours. It's a saison finished like champagne, And it was a lot of work, but it's really, really good.
Excellent. I'm going to take that home.
I love it.
Tim's not here, so I'm just going to...
cool.
Yeah, exactly. Take that home with me. But very cool, very cool. And those ATAle cans, by the way, those are hitting distribution like now, right?
Right now, yeah. So we delivered them Friday. They're hitting the shelves this week, and then they should be all throughout the month of October.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well, let's check out this week's headlines.
What's in the news? The beer guys have the scoop.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Time for headlines. Sponsored by Your Pie Perimeter in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center across from Perimeter Mall.
So last weekend was a Great American Beer Fest weekend. It looks like everyone except for, well, I guess us. You didn't go, did you?
We had an anniversary party.
Exactly. You guys had other things to do.
Yeah.
Nobody here went, but everyone else did. But there were some Georgia winners, actually. Georgia did pretty good, actually. A better show than they did last year. So Sweetwater won for their Triple Tail. They had a bronze for their Triple Tail.
They deserved something for that. That's a great beer.
It is a great beer. They did a fantastic job with that. Also, Monday night got 2 medals for their Laissez-Faire and their Tears of My Enemies. And they've also, let's see, who else won? I'm just off the top of my head here. A Torch Top Brew Pub. They won for their coffee, IPA.
Then Max
Lagers for the Excommunication. Yep.
Yes. That's a Flemish red, I believe.
I believe it was.
Fruited sour.
Yeah, that was a nice one. And you know what? One of the surprising winners was actually down in Savannah, where Moon River Brew Pub.
I know.
Cleaned up. You know, they won a gold for their wit. For their Belgian Wacky Wit, which I think is fantastic. It's not my favorite style, but I had it down there, and it really stood out to me when I had a flight down there. And they also won Best Midsize Brew Pub. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, they did some incredible work down there.
Definitely, very good. And then for our folks, friends in Alabama, TrimTab also won a silver for their Paradise Now. Paradise Now Berliner. So good for them. We've also got some other news to talk about as well. Unfortunately, some not so good news. You know, it's been the past few months have been nothing but natural disasters. You know, earthquakes and hurricanes, and now we got the big fire in Napa. And, of course, some great breweries that are up there as well. Russian River and Cooperage, to name a couple. Just looked at the Facebook page, and they've been closed for the past couple of days. Fortunately, it doesn't look like the brew house itself has been affected, but, of course, a lot of their workers have, too. So, you know, last time I checked, it's been over 30 people dead and over 100 missing in those fires, and it's absolute tragedy, one of the worst fires that they've seen out west. And, you know, Brian, you and I are both from out west. We see those fires all the time.
Yeah. It's crazy how big those and how quickly they get out of control. They're
and it popped
huge.
up. I mean, it's just out of nowhere. It was crazy.
Literally overnight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I had a friend that was in Napa, and he just basically said, "Hey, we're at a party, yada yada yada." Then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we got to get out of here. It was like literally like within 2 or 3 hours they did that. So. Also, some good news locally, though. Reformation Brewery. They just announced that they're opening a second location in downtown Woodstock. So they're growing well. Of course, Reformation, one of our partners at Beer Guys Radio. But congratulations to them.
I had to look at the map in the thing to figure out how they were going to fit themselves into the Woodstock. And when I saw the map, it makes sense. They picked a good spot. Yeah.
That's great. I think they're going to obviously do some research and development there, but almost make it more of an interactive type of a place where people can kind of get in more in depth and understand what the brewing experience.
And I believe more experimental brews.
Yeah,
as well.
And that's going to be good. So of course, Reformation makes some great stuff, and it's always good to see the guys expanding across the board. You know, of course, we've had Monday night. Wild Heaven's going to have a second location as well. So it's just it keeps on growing and growing. It's amazing what happens when you actually let people sell the product that you make.
I know, right? Who would have ever thought?
Who would have thunk? All right, and finally, we've got another news. The best German bars in the world. Now, CNN had this, and they've got these huge lists of all these best German bars from around the world. And they're talking about bars from Brazil, and they're talking about China, and they're talking about, all these places around the world in Japan, these great German bars. But you know what? There's one here in Georgia, and it's in Helen. Amazing.
I would have never thought about it, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that German restaurant in Helen, and I completely forget its name right now.
Old Heidelberg?
It is Old Heidelberg. Yeah. Yes, thank you. I lost my place in my line here, but
had many a Steins there.
Yes, exactly. So just an awesome honor for them to be named. And again, like I said, all these lists are like worldwide. You're talking these huge cities, and all of a sudden Helen. Like, oh, okay.
When I saw that, wow.
Exactly. So that was definitely good stuff. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break right now. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. BeerGuysRadio.com is our website. And we'll be right back talking beer and cocktails with Second Self's Jason Santamaria. We'll be back right after this.
Have you ever thought about owning your own brewery, but don't know what it takes to get one built? We're CRL Contracting, and we build breweries. We are the most experienced contractors in the state of Georgia when it comes to building new breweries and tap rooms, or expanding current breweries. If you've been to Orpheus, Second Self, or Scofflaw, then you know what kind of work we can do. Just give us a call at 678-546-3382 or visit crlcontracting.com for more information. CRL Contracting. We build breweries. crlcontracting.com.
It's Aaron and Tim, the beer guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer servers are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out, Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the beer guy sent you.
We are Reformation Brewery, celebrating the reformer in you. Locally crafted within the renowned ATAle watershed of Woodstock, Georgia, Reformation creates yeast-forward brews full of aroma and flavor crafted to last. Come see us in beautiful Woodstock, Georgia for a tour and tasting of unique brews that you can't find anywhere else. Reformation Brewery. Set beer free. ReformationBrewery.com.
Hey, it's Aaron, and you're a fan of craft beer, right? And you want to know more about what's going on in the craft beer scene in Georgia? Thanks to the hard work from my co-host Tim, we are giving you the lowdown on the craft beer scene every week right in your inbox. Go to beerguysradio.com and sign up for This Week in Georgia Beer right at the top. We won't spam you, promise, or sell your name. Just good beer info every week. Plus, you can win great prizes from us. This Week in Georgia Beer, sign up today. beerguysradio.com.
The Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
No, I appreciate it, but I told my wife I wouldn't drink tonight.
Now, back to the Beer Guys radio show.
That is definitely not us. Beer Guys Radio, welcome back. BeerGuysRadio.com. I'm Aaron Williams, broadcasting from the lovely AM 920 The Answer studios in Buckhead. Brian Hewitt is with me. Tim Dennis is on hiatus this week, or on assignment.
On assignment.
Is that what they call it? I guess we'll call it on assignment.
He's on home assignment.
He's on home assignment.
Hiatus
He'll be back.
assignment.
And you know what? I'm hope he's watching on our Facebook live feed because he's going to be jealous of all the cool stuff we have. Jason Santamaria is in the house with us, and he's been busily concocting some craft beer cocktails.
Mad science over here.
And
We've got three.
I am super psyched about this one. So before we get into some of these, Jason, this is something that you've been doing for a while, right?
Yeah. It's something I've been doing, even since my college days, is playing with liquor and beer. Mm-hmm. It kind of started as I was broke and wanted to find a better way to extend my budget. So I would take like lime vodka, ice, and natty light and make a poor man's high octane Corona.
Nice.
Yeah. Throw some limes in there.
And then Budweiser stole the recipe and now they bring it to... No, I'm just kidding. That's terrible. So excellent. That's awesome. But now you kind of upped your game here. I mean, we've got three cocktails that you made over the break. And let's just kind of go... down the line, first of all, this one, I'm assuming this first one is going to be the one we'll start with.
Yeah, we'll start with that one. So this is actually using our Maverick and Goza. So Goza is a style of beer. It's going to be tart and salty. And so when you do cocktails of beer, you have to remember there's a lot of flavor, a lot of things going on with beer. So you have acid, you have bitterness, you have some sweetness. So instead of fighting that, I try to complement it as much as possible. Because when you're dealing with something like whiskey or rye, they're already a complex flavor. So you don't want to try to fight too much with that.
So what do you call this one?
This one I call the Danger Zone.
The Danger.
Oh, yeah.
Course.
It's got to be in theme with Maverick and Goza.
Of course.
This is essentially a hopped up margarita. So it's El Jimador tequila, using Contro on this one, a touch of simple syrup, and then beer. And what I found is a pretty good ratio for all of these. I'm doing an ounce of liquor, half ounce of an adjunct, in this case Contro, and then just enough sugar to kind of sweeten it back up.
Okay.
I did forget the lime on this one, so we do have extras.
I guess we'll help. So. Next time when you come back, we'll expect the limes.
Yeah.
So what makes a beer cocktail? Is it just anything with beer, or what's the definition of that?
Yeah, so a cocktail definition is at least 3 ingredients, typically with bitters. Beer cocktails, because beer is already bitter, I typically don't add a lot of bitters to these things. So To me, the definition is going to be some kind of liquor and beer components of that. And then we do a little bit at the brewery. We just call them beer tails. That is just beer and other things that are non-alcoholic. So on Sunday we do timosas and we do mole cheladas. So micheladas with a mole porter. Oh. So those are just something like kind of call it our brunch beer tails.
Yeah, and it's funny because micheladas are actually they used to call them Texas Red Draws when I was in Louisiana.
Oh yeah,
I knew a guy. I knew a guy. Apparently from Wichita Falls. When I was in TV in Shreveport, he came from Wichita Falls, Texas, and he was just a good old boy from Wichita Falls. And he was like, come on, we're having beers and stuff after work. And he was like, I'm getting some tomato juice. And I looked at him like I was like, what the heck are you talking about? And he's like, come on and try it out. And so the Texas Red Draw was the beer. And I think it was
I've never heard that name before.
I've never heard that before.
It's like only a Wichita Falls thing, apparently. So
very small.
So now you know. That was your education for the day, exactly. So yeah. Now, what are some good liquors to use? Now you used tequila in this one. You've got rum in another one. I see you've got some Scotch whiskey as well. Yep. What are some of the things that you look for in a good beer cocktail liquor combination?
Yeah, if you use vodka because it's a very easy one to use because again you're already dealing with a lot of flavor. I was trying not to do that for this. I was trying to push it a little bit for the show.
Okay.
I do stay away from gin just because gin has its own array of botanicals.
Okay.
Although I did create one last night with the saison that was pretty good, but it was almost took all the notes of the saison and amplified them.
Interesting.
It wasn't really something new and different, so I didn't bring that one.
So you say gin is one you avoid in terms of liquor. Are there styles of beer that you also avoid trying to do cocktails with for any particular reason? Because I mean, there are some interesting flavors in different beers. I mean, like, how easy would it be to do like a Flemish red, or maybe that would make sense in some cocktails?
Yeah, and the Flemish red I think could make a lot of sense because you do have a nice acid component. There's an inherent sweetness and some fruitiness, so there's a lot to play with there. The one I find the hardest is IPAs because the bitterness is just so high. For a lot of them. And so the third one we have is actually our citrus IPA. And for this is more of a beer tail. This is just 1821 ginger beer and a touch of bitters just to kind of make it a little different.
Okay.
So this is something.
I'm going to try this right now. Cheers, guys.
Give that a shot.
That's a tasty. So, yeah, you've really got that ginger beer kind of comes through and kind of complements that IPA as well. I mean, your citrus IPA is not overly hoppy. It's got that you're more fruit forward, citrus forward, but this is tasty. This makes me happy.
Yeah, this is really nice. Yeah, it works really well. I've noticed that with IPAs, they can be they don't play well with others a lot of times, especially the really West Coast.
They're hard to cook with. They're hard to do other things with. I mean, they're great on their own, but they just have so much going on, and it's just when it comes to bitterness, that it's just so high on that scale. It's hard to counteract it.
Yeah, I usually wind up drinking IPAs like when I'm barbecuing, but not when I'm actually eating the food that I'm cooking outside, because it tends to really just fight it too much. But so that's how it works. But we got the third one we've got right here.
Yeah, this is actually my favorite one.
This looks awesome, by the way.
Yeah. So this was inspired by one of my favorite cocktails, a Latin Quarter. So Latin Quarter is it's almost like a riff on a Sazerac, but it's using rum, and typically has a touch of absinthe. But for this one, we are using rum, a touch of a red vermouth, just a little bit. This time we use a quarter ounce, not a half ounce. And then I actually added a touch of mezcal because I'm kind of a mezcal slut and I love smoky things. So
that's awesome.
The smoke just works super well with the porter, and then the rum complements it. So this is a really fun one.
Yeah, there's a lot of smokiness to this one. I thought it came from your porter, but no, you had the mezcal in there, and
that's what that is. Yeah, I was like, I didn't remember the porter having that quality to it.
And it's got a little bit of that bite to the end of it, though. It's like you take a drink. Wait, and then there it is. I'm kind of getting a little bit of that bite in the back too. So
and for this one, it's just a bar spoon of mezcal. Like it's such a strong smoke flavor.
Sure.
We just have a little bit on there, so when you shake it all up, it works really well. And then when I typically make these, I'll put the liquors and I'll shake them, and put like today I put them in the glass with ice. Normally would put more ice in, and then pour the beer on top.
I was wondering about that because you can't obviously shake up a carbonated beverage. So you do the liquor first and then put it in. Okay, that makes sense.
And then do a gentle toss back and forth to make sure everything's integrated, or else you'll have beer on top, liquor on the bottom.
That's no good.
The party just keeps getting better.
Exactly. Just put a straw in it.
That actually sounds like an advantage to me a little bit.
It could be.
So what's your approach to these cocktails when you're coming up with them? Are you looking at cocktails that are out there and just saying, hey, I could substitute beer for that ingredient? Or are you starting with the beer and then building on top of that with with various components that you think would be complementary.
I've done it both ways. The ones I find work the best, or that I've had the most success with, is when I take a classic cocktail and try to put beer in it, or make that all work. Like the Latin Quarter, for example, with the Mole Porter. This is one I just started working on last night, and so pretty quickly, I think I got something pretty good. And then we do have a wonderful relationship with 1821, so we actually constantly are working on cocktails for the beer.
Okay.
So we're using their bitters and shrubs and everything. Too,
and 1821 is
they're a local bitters company, and we make their ginger beer as well.
Okay,
so,
great. So that's a nice combination too. I knew they made the ginger beer because I've seen it in your brewery, but I didn't know they made the bitters too. So that's really cool.
No, we don't make the bitters.
Well, I know you don't make the bitters, but I didn't know that they did as well. So that'd be quite a little bit of a process for you guys, right? They're not necessarily working on that. So now there's some other places, and of course some breweries have started to kind of make a cocktail-y beers. The one that I know, the one that came up for me was Wicked Weed when they did their now I'm going to lose
the old fashioned.
The old fashioned. That's what it was. Yes, and
Maniac at Scofflaw, and another one that comes to mind is not local, but Cascade had a Manhattan that they put in a bottle. So.
And Creature Comforts did a series during one of their anniversary events where they had the Tiki Bar themed Athenas.
That was glorious.
And then we did 3 this past weekend for anniversary.
Yes. I wasn't there. I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I missed that.
Tim was here. We could have gone through it.
We were busy not attending GABF that weekend.
Exactly. I have these weird people called kids that I have to hang out with every once in a while.
And that's been a fun process too, because now that we're dealing with barrels, and so we went through and tasted the barrels, see what components are there and what we can add to them to make them more interesting. So we did a old fashioned, a Sazerac, and a Boulevardier cocktail. So each barrel was separate, using different ingredients to create those flavors.
Awesome. Jason, we're going to take a quick break right now, but we're going to come back and talk more things Second Self. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show, beerguysradio.com. We'll be back right after this.
Andrew and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint, after work, or bring the family in.
Andrew and Lisa, I'm going to let you finish, but first, you forgot to mention the $3 craft beer specials you have every Thursday. I mean, come on, the pizza's great, but that's an amazing deal. $3 craft beer specials every Thursday. Now, go ahead and finish your commercial.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all of our beer events and specials.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle.
If you're into craft beer, you need to check out Drink This Beer. It's a podcast from the creators of Beer Guys Radio. Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams talk to some of the best and most important brewers across the country and the world. So if you like to drink beer, pull up a chair and crack open the Drink This Beer podcast. Available on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Aaron, and you know what I hate? When I miss a favorite TV show and forget to DVR it. Don't let this tragic tale happen to you when it comes to Beer Guys Radio. Subscribe to us on demand. It is easy. If you've got iTunes, Stitcher, or any other iOS or Android podcast app, search for us, or go to beerguysradio.com, click listen, and you can copy and paste the RSS feed. While you're there, by the way, give us a review. It really helps. That's Beer Guys Radio on demand. Catch it today.
It's Aaron and Tim, the Beer Guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer servers are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out, Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the Beer Guys sent you.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
What is tarnation?
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
And welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show, beerguysradio.com. I'm hanging with field operative Brian Hewitt this week. Tim is on assignment, as we say in the business, but you and Tim got to hang out at one of the newer, or soon-to-be newer, breweries in the area. Tell us about it.
Indeed, yes. So Variant Brewing, up in that's Roswell, isn't it?
Yes.
It took me a second there. I'm like, yeah, Roswell. What a great facility that place is. Have you seen the pictures?
I've seen the pictures. I've driven by it a couple weeks ago before they've really, and it's a beautiful facility.
Big, bright, open space. When I walked in, I'm like, this is the best lit of any brewery I've been in a long time, and I'm thinking of like everywhere I've been. So it's a really cool place. I was thinking, and then Tim and I were talking about it. I was like, this would be great on the side of a mountain in Colorado, like a ski lodge. But Matt Curling was telling us it was actually kind of designed with a kind of a warehouse meets like a railroad station type of thing.
Okay.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
A lot of windows, though, so it's very open.
A lot of light. So I think it's pretty neat. It's pretty airy. We tried four different beers there when we were there. Have you had any of them yet?
I believe, I think I had some at the Cask Ale tasting when they had some, but I'm not 100% sure. So why don't you go through them, and I will just live vicariously through you.
So
pretty good.
The first one that we had, and possibly the star of the show, I think Tim and I are in agreement on that, is the So Soft and So Smooth Cashmere Northeast IPA. 100% cashmere hopped, brewed with flaked oats, and it's triple hop with cashmere. Just a ton of hops go into that, and it's 8%, but you would not be able to tell. It's delightful. It's Tim is saying it's like one of the best beers IPAs he's had in Georgia.
Well, I'm going to go ahead. I'm taking a trip to Maine actually next weekend, so I'll bring some back and maybe we'll compare.
We should definitely compare. I'm not ready yet to say that, but
okay,
Tim is sticking to that. So
what else have we got?
So the next one we had was Uncle John's Brown Spiced Ale. It's a brown ale with vanilla, cinnamon, and organic apple cider. So it's almost a beer cocktail on its own,
exactly.
Just with the ingredients. It's a very interesting take, very pleasant, a good amount of vanilla to it. So it's a brown ale with a good amount of vanilla. I didn't get as much of the cinnamon, but a little touch of that cinnamon, a little bit, or the apple cider. It was really nice, very pleasant, very much a this time of the year, getting colder. Type of beer. We also had two different variations on the oatmeal stout, the regular oatmeal stout, which is, I think, the very first batch of beer that was brewed at Variance, and then the coffee oatmeal stout, which features a ton of Colombian coffee.
And you're the coffee nerd around here, so
I liked it. It was a very full, very robust, very complete presentation of coffee over top of an oatmeal stout. It's very nice. I think people that love coffee beers will really enjoy it. But for additional details, I think people should check out the Beer Guys Radio. We have a nice first look post on everything involving the capacity and all the other things, the barrels and whatnot.
So there you go. Tim did a fantastic write-up on that, so go check that out. So, Brian, thank you for the report.
Sure.
And, I'm excited to go ahead and look for that now. But we turn our attention back to Jason Santamaria, who from Second Self, of course, who's been making us some awesome beer cocktails, and we really appreciate it. I'm digging the heck out of this one with your mole porter and the mezcal.
So the Latin
mezcal
quarter?
is the Latin quarter, yes.
Yeah, so it's a riff on the Latin quarter.
Yes,
so I haven't come up with a fun name yet. I mean, mole is kind of what I,
mole.
My go-to when I can't think of something with mole. So.
Somebody on Facebook Live said something about mole.
Yeah,
I think it might have been it. Yeah.
That's perfect. This is it's great. It's got that smokiness. It's got it really the mezcal, like you said, really amplifies that smokiness that you kind of get with your mole porter anyway. But yeah, this is I can get in trouble with this one.
Yeah, the problem with doing beer cocktails is that it is extremely dangerous because you will drink them almost like a regular beer, but there's an extra ounce or ounce and a half of booze in it.
Yeah, after about 4 or 5, you're like, okay, I'm good to go. Yeah. I'm good to go. So briefly, let's talk a bit about Second Self. You guys just celebrated your anniversary, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How's it going so far with the new laws and changes and those types of things?
Oh, it's been great, and we came to a ultimate celebration this past weekend with our third anniversary. So we had 32 beers over the course of the day, and our staff just worked their ass or their
hindquarters
off. Yes, hindquarters off for a month, getting them all ready, including barrel aged beers, our first sour beers, true sour beers from full sour fermentation, and then just a bunch of variations and other new things.
Now, last time I was there, you're letting your brewers and other guys, the staff, kind of go with some of the ingredients and some of their recipes. So how's that been? Is that a lot of fun to kind of take their training wheels off and let them work for it?
Yeah, it's been great, and that's kind of where this is a celebration of that. So, the beers that were created that came out this past weekend, and then we have a bunch coming out soon. These are creations by our staff. So not only brewers, but we had some bartenders who were doing brewing and different things too, and we're there to help them as much as they want. But if they want to do all of it, then that's fine. But at the end, we have to do a panel, and if we agree that it goes to the tasting room, then it goes, and if it doesn't, then it stays in the back tasting room for us, and we will make sure it doesn't go to waste.
Yeah. So Brad Durham, by the way, on Facebook says he's got a 1-year-old Manic Pixie coming up over the weekend.
Oh, good.
I've got one left too, actually. I've got 2 left, I think, actually. I'm going to have to
Lucky
crack that
you.
one open.
I got none of those.
The Manic Pixie Dream was one of the best beers I've had last year, but it was so dangerous because I sat there and just drank it and no problem, and just didn't even realize it was 13.9%, and
it's a sneaky
kicked
one.
Your butt really quick, but it was phenomenal.
Yeah, sure.
So, but we go back to being able to do that experimentation and kind of work with other things. This is one of the things that kind of gives you the new law kind of gives you that permission to do, because you can do that, and you actually can set a price for that at the bar and give people a chance to do that more than just having a static tour, right? It's
absolutely.
A little more dynamic.
So beer now has money value instead of token value, as I say now. And so it's incentivized us to push ourselves and create new things. And if they take longer to make, then we can do a little upcharge on that too. But it's really just, and I've kind of passed that to the brewers too. So if we have beers that do well in the tasting room, we have an incentive program that goes back to them.
Nice.
To encourage them to create new stuff too. So it's been a lot of fun. And then we have another, right now we're actually doing a collaboration with Urban Tree. So it's our first cider brewery collaboration that's been happened in Georgia.
I was going to say, I've never heard of that before. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we did a cinnamon amber, and then we combined it with their juice. And so it's fermenting together. So it's actually a beer yeast and white wine yeast too. So it's a really cool.
I wish I remember what the name of that. That there's a name for a cider beer combination, isn't there?
There is
Cider.
That's what it is. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's 40% juice, 60% beer. So it's a substantial amount of juice.
That's awesome. I'm really looking forward to cracking some of that open when you guys have that ready. So just
so that's going to be draft only, tasting room, minimal, very little distribution. Urban Tree's getting some obviously for their tasting facility. So they're a bar because they're a farm winery.
Yeah, and that's right. And you actually just mentioned, I didn't realize this, so Thrillist named them the best cidery in the state, right?
They did.
So good for them.
That's why he brought that up. I was wondering, that's just interesting information to have.
I know.
Because we're collaborating with them.
They're our neighbors. They're a half mile away. We drink their stuff. They drink our stuff. We're good friends.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got a really nice corner on that this west side area, because you've got Second Self, you've got you've got Urban Tree, of course, you got Monday Night that's right there. Orpheus isn't far away. Scofflaw's right there too. So you've got Red Brick. That's right. Yep. I shouldn't forget Red Brick.
And
but
2 more coming.
Yeah, exactly. So it's so nice to kind of have these areas that people are able to go and just basically do almost a tour from. And now that you don't have to do the tour,
a crawl, if you will,
exactly. But one of the really good things about that is that you can almost go ahead and sample more and not have that got the kind of weight on your shoulders that I've got to finish all these beers because that's what I paid for.
Right.
But I can go ahead and have a couple of pints of Second Self, go to Urban Tree, check them out, go to Monday Night, and then take Uber/Lyft to home. But you don't have to stay in one place for the whole time.
Yeah, and we're doing 4 ounces of everything. So if you want to have try everything, you can probably do it with the 4 ounce pours and not having to do pints of everything.
Yeah.
Are you finding that a lot of people are doing flights now? Because a lot of every place I've gone, it's almost an epidemic of flights. Like people, they're not buying pints like I expected. It's like everybody's coming away with flights. So.
Well, I think people go to a brewery because they want to try beers.
Yeah,
true. So if you're buying a pint, you're committing to 16 ounces or 20 to 30 minutes of time on that one beer. So if you do a flight, you're trying 4 in that same amount of time. And so a lot of people will have one flight and then a pint of what they like, or a half pint or something. So that's
what I usually wind up doing too.
That's what we end up seeing.
Yeah, I'll see what you guys have that I haven't had before. Get that flight that I'm like, all right, my favorite one. I'm going to go ahead and grab some of that. So so very cool. All right, Jason, we're going to take another break right now. Coming up next, we've got the Hot List, and we'll talk with Skye Estroff for the Taste of Atlanta. Beer Guys Radio. We'll be right back.
Have you ever thought about owning your own brewery, but don't know what it takes to get one built? We're CRL Contracting, and we build breweries. We are the most experienced contractors in the state of Georgia when it comes to building new breweries and tap rooms, or expanding current breweries. If you've been to Orpheus, Second Self, or Scofflaw, then you know what kind of work we can do. Just give us a call at 678-546-3382 or visit crlcontracting.com for more information. CRL Contracting. We build breweries. crlcontracting.com.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
And welcome back to Beer Guys Radio. BeerGuysRadio.com, the infamous fourth segment is going on right now. And during the break, Brian and I tried our hand at making craft cocktails. I'm not sure if it went well or not.
I don't know. Mine's liquid fire, I think.
No, I think mine is the fiery one. So I made it's what's called a rusty pale, and uses actually Terrapin Recreation Ale and some Cooper's Craft whiskey, dash of Tabasco, some lemon, and some simple syrup. And I think I'm going to put a little bit. I was a heavy draw on the whiskey. I think I might have been a little rough on that one.
I actually like that part of it. Yours is definitely the fire one. I was like, one of these is burning me. I didn't see your Tabasco.
The Tabasco doesn't help either.
I didn't notice the Tabasco.
That's what I didn't too.
I wasn't expecting to be drinking Tabasco.
It burns in two ways, but it's a good burn.
So I think if I refine this, and actually, I think I could get this, but I'd have to refine it and actually, be good at this like Jason is. So.
Well, Jason's the pro. What do you think of that? Critique that cocktail.
I think it's good. I think it is a little too. It's more to a cocktail than a beer cocktail, just because it is very whiskey forward. And then the Tabasco is the second component. The beer kind of takes a back seat.
Okay.
But
yeah. So this one actually, it said it's 5 parts beer and then 2 parts of whiskey. So I think I might have been a little bit off on my measurements because, again, I mean, that could be just personal preference, too, because I kind of like beer cocktails because they're, just easy sipping things. Well, the difference between mine and yours is that I can actually taste the beer and actually enjoy it.
That is true.
That's the big thing. So yeah, what was yours?
So mine is called Eve's Black Heart. It's an interesting take on the Black Velvet, which is it's basically cider and Guinness. And with a little layer of apple brandy on top of it. It's very appley. And
I enjoy this, yeah.
It's nice. I think it's nice. I didn't know what to expect of it. It's something I just had to try. It's a biblical reference, of course, Eve and the apple and all that. So what do you think, Jason?
I think this is great. I mean, it's very apple, but it tastes like having a black velvet. It really does.
Yeah.
So just maybe, boozier.
Maybe add some cinnamon to it. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that might not be bad.
Maybe not be bad. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud there.
Yeah. Actually, it becomes a black velvet apple pie or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly. So Jason, we're going to wrap up now our craft cocktail segment. What's going on next for Second Self, and how can folks get a hold of you guys?
I mean, the best way to stay in touch is follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, too, and our website. We have a lot of events going on. We are doing a big Black Friday event. We have all of our employees are doing a bunch of dark beers, and we'll be tapping the last keg of Manic Pixie that you guys mentioned earlier.
Oh, yes. Too, so. If you have not had Manic Pixie Drink from Second Self, you need to get over there and get it. It's fantastic. And by the way, I do not like the fact that we're talking about Black Friday already.
No, that's crazy. A bit far away. I don't know when I'll be back. We're having a costume contest and a comedy night at the end of the month for Halloween, and then you'll be having a bunch of random new cool beers coming out throughout the month at the tasting room.
Awesome.
And then the apple ale comes out next.
I mean, you guys have a great tap room. You guys do a really nice job over there. So if you're on the west side and just want to hang out and get a cool place, check out Jason and the crew at Second Self Beer Company. Again, thanks for coming in, and this is awesome. I really enjoyed the heck out of this, and
this has been great.
Sorry, Tim, you didn't get to go.
Yeah, sorry, Tim. Thanks for having me. It's a lot of fun. We can make cocktails and beer cocktails anytime.
I like it. You're hired.
You heard that, Tim? There you go.
There you go. Exactly. So we'll talk later after the game. So anyway, earlier this week I was able to talk to Skye Estroff. She's with the Taste of Atlanta. So let's hear about that great event coming up. In the studio with us right now, Skye Estroff. She is the marketing and media manager for Taste of Atlanta. That's coming up next week.
I know. It's
crazy.
Right around the corner.
Yes.
I cannot believe I even have time to do an interview right now. This is crazy.
I know. You guys are just running around getting restaurants and making things delicious for everybody and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, do I have that frantic look on my face?
You do.
Okay.
Yes, I've seen that before.
Yes. I'm trying to look calm, but
That's good.
It's going to be an awesome event.
Yeah.
getting it done.
I'm so excited. This is the 16th anniversary for you guys.
Yes, our Sweet 16.
Well, there you go.
It's bigger and better than ever. We're so excited.
So tell us a little bit about the event. How did you get started, and what have you guys got going on for this year?
Well, it got started, really 17 years ago is when the concept came in to be. My boss, Dale Gordon DeSena, is the founder, CEO of Taste of Atlanta. So she came up with this concept of gathering Atlanta's best restaurants and everybody coming out to try them in one place so that you could check off the best restaurants in one place. But now as we move on down and get to our 16th anniversary, we have over 100 restaurants participating. We anticipate tens of thousands of attendees, and we're in Old Fourth Ward Park, right across from Pont City Market in Old Fourth Ward.
Very cool. Great place to put it, too. So that's
yes.
Key. So you got 100 restaurants. I'm a big guy. I don't think even I could probably knock out 100 restaurants in one day.
If you go, it's 3 days.
3 days. Yeah, okay, that's right.
So, better chances if
that's
you could
true.
do 33.3 samples, or really like 35 because we have more than 100 restaurants.
Okay, that'll work.
You'd have to really strategize it. You'd have to look up some Joey Chestnut research, the hot dog eating champion.
Exactly, yep.
Take some notes, and then you can handle our event.
Definitely. I think that's a good plan.
Yeah.
So not only do you have great food, I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the amazing restaurants you have.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the Beer Guy Show. We talk about beer, and I'm looking
That's
at your
why I'm
list right
here.
now.
Yeah.
You've got some great beers on tap
my
as
gosh.
well.
Aaron, I have like 10 pages of beer.
That's fantastic.
I don't even know if you're ready to handle this.
Oh, I'm ready. Okay.
But so you say you can't finish all the food samples.
Yes.
Do you think you could handle all the beer samples?
I'd be close. I think I probably could, yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to monitor you closely next weekend. So
Uber is your friend.
Uber is your friend. Uber
right.
and Lyft, we're rideshare friendly.
There you go.
Can also take MARTA
There you go.
to the Civic Center station, and we have shuttles going back and forth.
We always tell people when they go to festivals.
So drink as much as you want and do not get in the car.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the way that we have our beers separated are by style, and then we have a whole section of Georgia beers,
Oh, cool.
too.
Okay.
So where should I begin with you?
Well, let's go ahead and talk about the Georgia beers. How about that?
Georgia beers. So we have 4 designated tables for these. We have 12 beers from Georgia. So we have Creature Comforts, Arches Brewery, 3 Taverns, Steady Hand, Mercer Orchards, Orpheus, Terrapin, Second Self, Monday Night Brewing, Jekyll, Wild Heaven, and Urban Tree Cidery. And also, have you tried Steady Hand before?
Oh, yeah, they're fantastic.
They're fantastic. I'm friends with the owner, and they are amazing. I love their logo, everything they've got going on. They're going to open on the west side soon.
Yeah, they do a really great job. But all those beers, all the breweries that you've talked about, and the 2 cideries as well, it's a great lineup, I guess, of good food, or good beers to pair with food as well.
Absolutely. Then you don't even know how many food samples you're trying.
There you go.
You drink all of those beers. But they're amazing. I mean, the Georgia beer scene, as you talk about from week to week, is incredible. We keep adding on new breweries and also cideries, too. So I'm excited to try all of these.
Yeah, definitely. My wife will definitely take part of the cideries, so that's key. But, and you've also got not only Georgia beers, you've got several other ones from across the country as well, too.
Oh, yes. And because we're so organized in our 16th year, we have them separated by style.
I like it.
So we have like an IPA table, a lager Pilsner table, a sour table, a pale ale table, and a dark beer,
Excellent.
like stouts and all that kind of stuff.
So just FYI, then you'll see me at the IPA table.
Okay.
And Tim will be at the sour table. That'll be him.
Okay.
So that's key.
Sours are so hot right now.
They are, definitely.
But I'm just not a sour person. I'm trying to be, but I'm just not.
You know what? I'll tell you, Skye, it took me about 6 months before I got into it.
Okay.
And my suggestion is think of it not as a beer. Just think of it as a drink and not necessarily something that's going to taste like beer. And just kind of enjoy it for that.
Like a Sour Patch Kid, but
Almost.
liquid.
Yes, exactly. And start off a little on the lighter side. There are a few lighter sours there, but you'll get there eventually. But it does take a little while, and it's Tim's a huge fan of sours. Like I said, I'm an IPA guy, but I've kind of come around over the months, enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to switch out my Tropicalias for an Athena every now and then, but it's still just not the same thirst quenching beer.
You're right, definitely. So you got to drink what you like. That's what we always say in the Beer Guys Radio Show. It's good drinking beer. And we're not going to make you mad about it. So, Skye, if folks wanted to go ahead and get tickets and get more information, where are they going to go?
If you go to tasteofatlanta.com or visit our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, at Taste of Atlanta. Go to those handles. You will find all the information that you need here. We have parking. We have the full list of restaurants. We have some of our beer list online there too. Anything that those odds and ends, little details, even more about the MARTA transportation is all online there.
Definitely. And it starts on October 20th. So on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Is that
yes.
Am I correct?
Friday night is the kickoff.
Okay.
So more exclusive party. And then Saturday is from noon until 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday is from noon until 6 p.m.
Excellent. Skye Estroff, Marketing and Media Manager for Taste of Atlanta. Thanks so much for joining us on Beer Guys Radio. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it. See you next weekend.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
All right. Time now to check out the hot list.
Time for the hot list. The Beer Guys have the scoop on what's going on next week. Brought to you by CRL Contracting. We build breweries. CRLcontracting.com.
That's hot.
You know, speaking of hot, my throat's still burning from the drink that I made.
I know, right? Eyes are watering. This is great for colds.
It is good for colds. What's going on in Georgia?
So this week is Atlanta's Great Pint Week. So there are featured pints for $3 at a number of venues around Atlanta. Check out the full list on the calendar at beerguysradio.com for that. On Monday, Academia Brew Pub's official launch. And there's a homebrew meeting at Jekyll.
Nice.
On Tuesday, Banyan Roots Fresh Hop Tap Takeover at the Porter. And Brewery Dreamers Workshop at Southern Brewing Company. Wednesday is trivia all over the place. Team Trivia at Your Pie Perimeter, Trivia and Tacos at Reformation, Hops for Hope Lodge Trivia Night at the Monday Night Garage. On Thursday, we've got Founders Pint Night at Your Pie Perimeter. On Friday, Explore Georgia Beer at Arches with Atlanta Girls Pint Out. And on Saturday, Decatur Craft Beer Festival.
That's a good one.
Yes, yeah. I'm fond of that one. I wish I could go to that one this year, but I will be out of town.
Me too.
Yes. Also, Terrapin's Hop Harvest.
Nice.
On that day.
Nice. In Alabama, we've got 2 food trucks and a ginger at the brand new Interstellar Ginger Beer and Exploration Company in Alabaster. That's going to last, again, today through Sunday. Blake's Hard Cider is coming to Alabama, and they've got several tap events, including one at Old Town Beer Exchange on Monday in Huntsville. We've also got a collaboration between Irons One and Rocket Republic at SIP in Huntsville. That's going to be on Tuesday as well. Homebrewer Social at Wish You Were Beer in campus number 805 in Huntsville. And that's going to be on Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. And again, I just love the name of this place, so I just have to say it. We're having a Back 40 tap takeover on Friday in Opelika's Zazu Gastropub.
Zazu.
Yes, it's not as good as Piggy Small's Barbecue.
I was thinking it was Piggy Small's.
Which I have not seen. So if you've seen Piggy Small's Barbecue, let us know because we totally missed those guys. So anyway, we've got a winner for our giveaway. Who do we got for giveaway? To give away
we
today?
have Corey Faust.
Nice.
Is the person that wins the giveaway to give away.
Awesome. Well, Corey, congratulations. And what you have to do is just go ahead and shoot us an email, beerguys@beerguysradio.com, and we will go ahead and get you that swag pack shipped out soon. And if you want to go ahead and take part in our giveaway to give away.
How do they do that?
Well, it's easy, Brian. All you have to do is head to beerguysradio.com, sign up for This Week in Georgia Beer, and you'll get a weekly newsletter for courtesy of Tim with all the happenings in Georgia Beer. You'll also be entered to win our weekly swag pack. So that's going to do it for this week's edition. Next week, we're going to have to be on our best behavior, Brian, because we actually have a gubernatorial candidate coming in to talk to us. Hunter Hill, Georgia State Senator and gubernatorial candidate, is going to be in and joining us here in the studio. So that should be a lot of fun talking beer laws and hopefully the future of Georgia beer. So it'll be good.
He's been a great champion for
absolutely.
Craft beer for a long time.
So that should be key. It should be a lot of fun. So check us out in the meantime at beerguysradio.com and on the socials. Don't forget to drink local. We'll talk to you next time. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're on demand via iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Always online at beerguysradio.com. Aaron and Tim are back next week with more about the amazing world of craft beer. Cheers. The Beer Guys Radio Show on the Beer Guys Radio Network. beerguysradio.com.